Hello, hello, beautiful soul. I just wrapped up an interview with Andy Anderson, who is the co-founder of AVAIYA University, and she has a new summit coming out all about codependency and self-love. And I shared how the cornerstone process, this 5-step framework for holistic healing and recovery, can be used on your journey to real self-love, and how you can start to identify the source of your codependent behaviors and how to tie together all of the sort of symptoms and traits and stories so that you get underneath the origin of it and heal it. So that sounds really complicated. But what I shared was just how over the last 20 years, working with people with addictions and eating disorders and these other weird health conditions, what emerged from my research and study was this very simple framework of how to look at your past, your present, and ideally a vision for your future to identify where you're getting hung up. And if you happen to be working with a doctor or a therapist or a coach or multiple healers, using this cornerstone process is going to allow you to share information with these people so that they can start to connect the dots between things that might be aggravating your health or causing you to spiral into relapse. And these things are not part of mainstream knowledge because most practitioners operate in silos. Like I mentioned in the interview that if you have irritable bowel disease or Crohn's disease, you go and see a gastroenterologist and they're going to tell you, one set of things. And they might say, okay, when you're stressed, you probably have more symptoms, so maybe you should see a therapist. So then you go and you see your cognitive behavioral therapist and they give you a set of tools. But they don't talk to each other. And unless you share enough information with each of them to make these connections, you're just kind of dealing with things piecemeal. And so for me, as an integrative physician, that's what I did with my patients. I would collect their data from all these different sources and sometimes talking to their therapists or doctors to get a real comprehensive, holistic picture of what was leading a patient into disease or dysfunctional behavior. And what came out of that was recognizing that everyone goes through these 5 stages on their healing journey or their awakening journey. I outlined the 5 steps of the cornerstone process in the Real Self-Love Handbook so that you can use it as a guide for your own healing, to build resilience, to recover from whatever life has thrown at you. So I do hope that you'll tune into Andy's new summit about codependency and self-love. She's got some amazing experts from around the world who will each be sharing different tips and insights and wisdom about healing from codependency and really finally arriving at that place of unconditional self-acceptance. So you may know a bit of my story. I shared with her some things that I haven't shared before because Andy and I have go back now a few years doing these interviews together. But you will also hear it in a new context as we talk about codependency. So definitely check that out. I would love to see you in the summit. And if you need other support along this journey of really reclaiming the power over your life and getting in and rewiring your brain and digging into the subconscious mind to create more empowered narratives, that is your self-talk and your beliefs, then check out the 3 keys to become the hero of your life, that mini class, which contains exercises from the Real Self-Love Handbook. It is an excerpt of our new 12-month membership, the Hero course. But if you do this 3 keys to become the hero of your life, it's a very short, easy way to kind of get into understanding what drives you subconsciously and how to rewire and reprogram. It's been highly rated by people who've taken it. And then if you want support, on the 2nd Tuesday of the month, I go live in a private Zoom session and I support you with some reading from the Real Self-Love Handbook or a teaching. Then we do sharing and I lead a guided meditation that's really helpful for getting in and reprogramming, doing the inner child work or meeting with the inner critic or your inner rebel and really creating that sense of acceptance and self-love. We practice the compassion meditation during these sessions, and then I take questions. That's the second Tuesday of the month. It's totally free. It is the Real Self-Love Movement. So if you join the mini class, you get free access to the Real Self-Love Movement, or you can join that separately. I'll put the links under this video. So the thing about the Real Self-Love community that's really cool is once you join, you have access to a private Facebook community, if you like that. But you also have access to the last 3 years of guided meditations, teacher sessions. I have some guest expert interviews that are in there teaching about somatic therapies, like Chen Lizra from Israel, Jen Mavros on law of attraction and manifestation, the lovely Helena Philipson from Denmark talking about emotional freedom, especially from emotional eating, and Bitte Visa, who leads us through a tapping protocol, TFT, thought field therapy, which was the precursor to EFT. That's in the Real Self-Love movement as well. So you have access to a full library of guided meditations, downloadable resources, and videos, plus me live every month on the second Tuesday of the month so that I can answer your questions and support you, and you can kind of be in this bubble of loving kindness as we talk and heal and meditate and pray together. So if that's of interest to you, all the links are below the video, and I will see you on the next one. Take care, my friend.